Hi everyone, it's Denise from Dobby Books and welcome back. So today I'm going to go over what my TBR for August is going to be. I should say that in the plural, TBRs. And the easiest thing to pick were those that were related to my chronological history study. So I'm in medieval times. I picked a few books that I wanted to read, and my series that was easy to pick. But let me show you. So I normally this is how I broke it down that I would read every month. So I would have my Roman Emperor series, my U.S. Presidents series, and then a chosen series of my liking. And right now it's the one by Philip Pullman. Then a monthly special read, and I just kind of kept that open because I might pick an academic thing I want to read. There might be a book that I find at the bookstore that I really want to read now. It doesn't matter, but that is a flexible topic there. And then finally, the ongoing chronological history reads. So let me start with the easiest one first. Okay, so for the chronological history reads, I'm at a point now where I have already learned about the beginning of Islam, Muhammad, Mecca, and I forget the other place now. But the significant points of history in Islam and significant places. So now I want to delve a little bit deeper. And I knew I always wanted to read at least part of the Quran. I don't know which parts, but I can find out. So I have this small, looks like a mass market paperback of the Quran, and this is what I found at the bookseller, um, the library sale. So I'm going to start with this. I also have a beautiful edition of the Quran that I found, and I have that put away. I might peruse that a little bit, but I figure I can start here and read parts of the Quran if I don't finish it in the month of August. And then, of course, alongside that would be Islam, an illustrated historical overview. So it's from the Crash Course series. What's the Barron's Crash Course series? And this would be on Islam. So this is going to give me a general foundational sort of spine to look things up. And I'm still trying to find those major names that I mentioned in previous ones on my medieval ones. I'll find them. I'm getting closer. But for now, to study Islam in medieval times, I have these two books. And then along with that, I was going to study the two lives of Charlemagne because it was written a while back. But, and I would consider those primary sources. But I want to go just a little bit earlier. I had wanted to read a book by Procopius, The Secret History, and I did finally get that, and I showed it on a previous video. So I'm going to read this before I start the Lives of Charlemagne, the two Lives of Charlemagne. So I'm reading that. And then my spine for medieval history, I think instead of Susan Wise Bauer's book, I think I will go with The Civilization of the Middle Ages by Norman Cantor. I'm liking his prose. I'm liking the contents that he's covering in this. This is a library book, and because I just wanted to see if I liked it first before I purchased it, and because I decided that I do like it, I went ahead and found a good used copy on eBay, and that should be arriving any day now. So I'll be able to continue with that. And finally, this is meant for children, famous men of the Middle Ages. I'm going to be finishing this fairly quickly. Yeah, I'm about halfway through. So I'm going to be finishing this. So there we go. So for the Middle Ages, these are going to be my reads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. If I have time, if I finish things soon enough, I'll add more to that and let you know. But these are going to be the Middle Ages chosen books for the month of August. And then I know I finished my Roman Emperor book on Claudius. And the book that I originally chose for that was one recommended by Bob in Robert G. Reader Books. And I began reading it, and I I wasn't liking it. So I thought, okay, just put it aside, come back to it in a few days and start again. Because anything can affect our first read. That's always so indecisive. Um, so I gave it another chance and I came back to it and I started reading again. And I encountered that same, I don't like this. I don't like this. Maybe it's her prose. I don't know. So in the end, I said, you know what, let me put this aside. And I looked up my Suetonius and Tacitus and read what each one of them had put together on Claudius. So I consider that for now, I'm done with my Roman emperors read for Claudius for this month. The US president's bios, I didn't bring that book here. And the reason I didn't do that is because I am behind on some other books, and I'll show you those in a minute. The series read, the personal choice series read is the one by Philip Pullman, Historic Materials. I am on book 2 of the original trilogy. The first one is The Golden Compass, or in the UK, it's Northern Lights. The second one is The Subtle Knife. So this one, I'm going to start to read tonight. I plan to finish this definitely before the end of August, so that then I can move on to book 3. And of course, as a reminder, the reason I'm reading this series is because the second trilogy, which is known as the Book of Dust, the first 2 books have already been published, and now the last book in that second trilogy is going to be released in October, and I'm getting my copy from Waterstones in the UK. And I just want to be able to have read through all this so that I'm ready for that last book in the trilogy. I don't think I'm going to be able to read in the next 2 months. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read the final book in this first trilogy and then the first 2 books in the second trilogy. That might not happen, but it's okay. It's something to shoot for. So there's that. And then my final, okay, so that my ongoing chronological history, I showed you that. My monthly special read, I talked about that. My series on Philip Pullman, I talked about that. The US president's bios, I'm going to put that aside for now because I'm behind on 2 other books. This one specifically by my classmate Carolynne Nelson, Silent Flame, because there were other demands on my time, I put this aside. I'm a third of the way through. So I want to finish this month because she just got her second book finished, the one she was working on for the capstone this last semester. She just got a publisher to publish this for her. This one was self-published, but it's her next book, Benighted, that she got a publisher to publish for her. And she texted me so excited, and she told me, and I tell you, people, it was wonderful. I was so happy for her. Still am. So I want to finish this book, so when her new book comes out, I can read that and I'll be ready for it. So congratulations, Carolynne. And then this is a book. This is the flexible book read that I had for the month of July. I haven't quite finished, but it's very useful. It's called The Anatomy of Anxiety: Understanding and Overcoming the Body's Fear Response by Ellen Vora, MD. Because, as you know, I'm an anxious person. I have been since I was a child. And this has 2 parts to it. She talks about, let me get to it, 3 parts. So after the intro in part 1, when she talks about topics like the age of anxiety, avoidable anxiety, and purposeful anxiety, she goes into false anxiety, and she has several chapters talking about false anxiety, and those are things that are outside of us, that are causing us anxiety, that are much more controllable. We can address those much more efficiently. I focused on part 3, true anxiety, and that is an anxiety that for some of us simply is who we are. And there could be various reasons for that, and she discusses that in her book. That's where I zoned in on. And that's why my bookmark is way in the back of the book. And it's been very helpful. And I was encouraged because some of the information and the, I don't know, coping skills, whatever, that she addressed in this part of the book, I was aware of and I already practiced. So it was good to know that I was on the right track. Now she's going to bring up other matters to finish off this thing, which are going to be useful to me. And I suspect she's already talking about nutritional, how to address this nutritionally, because sometimes people who are, let's say, people who are depressed, their brain is deficient in certain chemicals, and there are dietary changes and supplementation you can do to address that without having to use pharmaceuticals, which is something I avoid at all costs in any way I can. And I think that's what she's going to delve into, plus some new treatments. And she does delve into alternative meds. She is, let's see, she's a functional medicine, no, she's a holistic psychiatrist, acupuncturist, and yoga teacher. She takes a functional medicine approach to mental health. And for those who aren't familiar with functional health, that is a traditional physician who incorporates some alternative treatment methods when helping their patients. So it's not just pharmaceuticals. It can be, and not physical therapies, but things like Reiki, acupuncture, or nutritional factors, things like that. Let's see. She received her BA from Yale University and her medical degree from Columbia University, and she is board certified in psychiatry and integrative holistic medicine. So that's why I picked the book, because she had a very full-bodied approach to this rather than just one discipline. She incorporates several disciplines, and I think that's a much better way to approach something. So there we go. So the two books I'm going to finish this month, because it's very important, are these two. And then I'll be able to continue on with the rest of my books. So let me show you this pile. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 books total. A lot of them are not that long. Only one is a little more, but there we go. Those are the 8 books I'm going to be working on for the month of August. One is not meant to be finished this month. 2, I see the Quran. I don't think I'm going to finish the Quran. So the Quran and the Civilization of the Middle Ages, I won't be finishing this month. I'll be reading just a portion of them, but the rest of the books I'll be finishing. So there we go, people. That's the month of August for me. And this kitty cat over here, that's Jack. He's our pudgeball kitty. He loves snacks and naps. So there we go. He's doing what he does best right there. And that's my husband's, I can't remember. I want to say ukulele, but it's the other thing. Jim, you know what this is. I forgot the name. And that's it. And these two, see these containers here? They're on my pillows. You know why? I just want to give you an FYI here. We have this big goofy Doberman who's a mushball, really. He's not a threat to anybody. The Chihuahua, she's a threat. And his name is Diesel, our Doberman, and he loves pillows. And what he would do is when he would get on my bed, and I went to all the trouble of getting this lovely cover for dogs, is he would pull back all the covers and put his slobbery little head on my pillow or my husband's pillow. But it was usually my pillow. All right. I'm not sharing my pillow with DZ Poo. I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen. So what I ended up finding out I could do is if I put these 2 containers, one over each pillow, the DZ Poo couldn't touch the pillows, and now they're protected. So that's just a silly FYI I wanted to share with the rest of you. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. I love you all. Take care. Don't forget to push that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you all in just a few days. Bye-bye.